Alright guys, how's it going? So we finally got the funding and approval to move ahead on the Convivium greenhouse project. This is going to be the future home of Convivium aquaponics and hydroponics. That's still ways down the road. We have quite the massive undertaking here of rehabbing a 1920s era greenhouse to be able to turn it into a functional 21st century greenhouse. What we need to do first is start stripping all the old covering, which I'm sure you can probably see above me, removing all the fiberglass stuff that the previous owner had bolted to it. It used to be a really nice glass frame greenhouse back in the day. Used to go flowers down here. Used to be a staple in Dubuque. And it changed hands a couple times. Ended up being a landscaping company's greenhouse, and they were just using it to store materials, so they didn't really care about the condition. But we're going to put some new life in here, and so the first part is, again, stripping all the old wood and junk off of it, and then we'll seal this, brush off the steel, wash it down, get rid of any chunky flakes of rust or corrosion, seal it with a couple of coats of this steel sealant that'll basically seal it for the rest of its lifetime, so any condensation won't, suck up that or leach into that rust or those minerals and end up dropping into anything that we're growing in here. It'll be 100% sealed, and we won't have to worry about that in the future. So this is the steel. It's a cold frame greenhouse, 1920s era. See all the trusses and the gutter channels. And this is some of the wood that have been taken off. It's all this old white oak. That was all bolted up here. It was relatively easy to get this stuff off because all the fiberglass was taken off, but there and down at that end you can still see all that fiberglass is on there. So we're going to do this side first, and then once we get this side down, then we'll come back and do this side. But I got that whole end down there. So yeah, this stuff was pretty easy to get off because nothing was in the way. But now we got to get the rest of it off down there, and because the fiberglass is on there, it's a lot harder to get at the bolts, and basically I can't use my impact anymore. I have to use a hand wrench. This thing right here, every single bolt has got to be taken out with one of these in order to get the framing off. I mean, technically we should, all this fiberglass is bolted to those wood purlins because the sheets are so wide and it's so hard to access those sheets. I think what I'm trying to do now is just unbolt all these purlins and to just slide those panels down into the driveway next door here, and then we'll dismantle it further from there. But I think we should just try to take it off in big sheets and get it off the roof, and then figure out how to take it apart and junk it or salvage it or whatever. So yeah, everywhere that a purlin attaches to that steel, there's a nut and a bolt that attaches it to it, and every one has to be taken off with this thing, and it's a pain in the butt. But we're gonna do it anyway. So right now it's just me and my wife, and she can help out, and Mike, one of the owners of the facility, when he can help out. We're gonna try to see if there's any, because we are a nonprofit. Convivium Urban Farmstead is a nonprofit. We can use volunteer labor in exchange for community service hours. And so we're trying to work with the Elm Street Correctional Facility to raise interest down there, give those guys something to do that's constructive, maybe learn a few things in the process, and get them out in the fresh air and the sunshine. Something more constructive than just sitting around and playing cards or something. Give them a purpose. I know that lot of people, you know, in situations like that just don't feel like they have a purpose or don't have something to apply, you know, their abilities to. And I'm hoping this would provide at least an avenue for some people to really kind of get some vision for themselves and some opportunities. So, but if anybody from the general public or friends and families want to help out, we could always appreciate the help. You know, otherwise this is going to be a long project. And once that's done, then we can start building the aquaponics and the hydroponics. And once that's done, we'll be able to move forward and actually fire that system up and start growing some stuff, which is going to be really exciting. But again, that's a year or two down the road, you know. And then there's funding issues for that too. So, all right, guys. Well, I wanted to start this little series just for my own personal documentation, but I'm going to share it too, in case anybody wants to follow along or help. We'll be keeping or I will, keeping a little video log of what I do each day and some of the things that are going well, some that are frustrating or not going so well, and yeah, just have fun with it, you know. Got to do it one way or another. Might as well have some fun. So, all right, I gotta get to work. Talk to you later.